Hey guys, it's Sonia here today. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't believe I'm doing this again. But I want to share with you before we go too far a couple of things. We're going to do a bit of an update. First things first, my podcast numbers are going to be a little bit mixed up. I think I shared this on the last episode, but just in case you're new or you've stumbled upon this, this is Sonia Janice speaking. I go by Sonia, and I am a holistic health coach. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And just like any of you, I'm human. And what I mean by that is I make mistakes or I try to get ahead of the game and then I'm told, no, you can't do that. And let's course correct and put you back here. And how many of you can relate to that, right? And I know that's not today's topic, but it's part of, right? Everything is part of. We're all inclusive. So first of all, thank you for stumbling across this. I have been stepping back from using hashtags. So if you have found this, if this has landed on your page, it's completely there for a reason. Your page, your audio. I'm not doing a video component of this. I'm not going to do that. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so this is going to be episode 182. Backstory. I had my dad help me with a few things on the computer, and he transformed all of my Zoom meetings, all of my one-on-ones with people who I had interviewed over the past couple of years. I was getting ahead of the game, and every person who I interviewed that was on that USB drive, I can't access. The USB drive will go in, it'll record for a little bit, and then I will lose the whole, or not record, upload, and then I will lose the whole thing. So yeah, this is episode 182. I'm gonna leave it at that. But if I ever find my information, then we're gonna be a little bit more confused, right? If I can go ahead and upload that. So, how are you? How are you doing today? I'm recording this January 29th, 2025, and it's been a quiet month. Like I've been doing things, but I haven't been moving the needle. Now, I want to talk about that today. Talk about your state of flow. Talk about how it impacts you. I have a huge impact with my state of flow, and when I'm not in flow, I'm not getting results. And it tends to be a bit of a vicious cycle. So, first of all, I cannot believe that we are already the 29th of January. Like, where did the month go? That's kind of I don't want to say scary because it's really not scary, but it's more much, right? Wouldn't you say? It's like we're just in this hamster wheel going over and over and over and over again, looking for results, doing the same action, maybe importing different action into our day. And yet suddenly it's the end of January and we're in the exact same cycle as last year. Very much a vicious cycle. I was just making some notes for in case I do go and post the video component of this. I always say I'm not going to, and then I decide to afterwards. And then I'm like, oh, so glad I did that. Yay. Um, right now, I don't know. Definitely going to import the audio. That part I'm ready to share with the world already. So I'm excited to share a state of flow with you. I know it's going to be an interesting conversation today. And I say conversation, but you and I both know it's a one-way conversation. It's me chatting. I would love to hear from you, who here, or if you've listened to any of my other episodes, my other work, let me know. I would love to hear what you like best. These shows are your shows. These shows are helping you grow. These shows are meant to help you step into that best version of you. So grab your cup of coffee. I went to Starbucks this morning and got this and got some egg bites. So I just added what maybe 400 calories. Okay, maybe 500 calories to my day, which isn't a big deal, right? It's not about the calories, it's about what comes in it. And I'm not going to geek out over that right now on another episode, or maybe on my fat loss series, where I did 6 different fat loss episodes that are really impactful. But I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm just saying what I did. Here's what I've got. All right, guys, you ready? Are you ready to get started in the state of flow now that I've been babbling? I'm going to share with you something I've been sending out for the last couple of days. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's a lack of a state of flow in this scenario. We're going to just jump right in. I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to go on as to why a state of flow is important. And then I'm going to be giving you some suggestions to implement that will help you A, find a state of flow, and B, open your eyes to the fact of what it looks like and feels like, and what is standing in your way of accomplishing it or of living in that state of flow. See, it's quite the cycle, isn't it? The more you move, the better you feel, but anxiety and depression stand in the way. It's overwhelming to think of anything different, like goal setting or even what tomorrow might look like, because right now you're completely in survival mode. Yet you know, as soon as you make a change, everything changes and your life falls into place. It's even better than what you can imagine. You just need to start somewhere. Now you're asking yourself, I'm sure, how can I be ready when I feel so empty? You know that action is better than non-action. And the longer you stay in inaction or non-action, the bigger the valley, like the valley opposite of a hill, the bigger the valley you need to climb out of. And the bigger the valley, the more you have to believe in timing, alignment, and a greater purpose, all of which seems impossible when you're in survival mode. That's how you know. And that's why you know something needs to change. Believe me, I get it. I so get it. And as I mentioned, we're at the end of January, and with that comes a lot of people that are in SAD, seasonal affective disorder. I get it. This is more than moving through the motions. It's more than feeling up to it. It's meeting yourself where you're with radical acceptance, love, and understanding. You ready to get going? Starting point is for this exercise is to Google the law of attraction scale and see where you fall on that parameter. So there are multiple scales that you can look at, but essentially my favorite one has a spiral going up and a spiral going down with a list of different emotions. Once you figure out your starting point, you're going to be able to see what growth looks like to you because it's completely different than what growth might look like to me. If you're ready and you feel like this is the right time to truly wake up and release the unwanted weight of debt, stress, pounds, join my 21 days to a smiling reflection program. I'm going to trip over that. Say it again. And you cannot say this without smiling. I dare you to try it. 21 days to a smiling reflection program. It's a quick and easy once a week program for a month to get you to think differently, to get through the fact that change is hard. See, when we hit a wall, we're no longer in that state of flow. And again, I'm going to expand on that. When we hit a wall, we feel overwhelmed. We stop doing things that will help us move the needle and we put ourselves back into a position of safety, of what we know how to do. That's not where you need to be right now. You need to be stepping outside your comfort zone for things to change. And this is where radical acceptance and love and understanding take place. So when you have established routines in your day, you are free from thinking about what to do next, what goals for the day should be, and so on. How many of you listening to this have solid routines? I have a solid morning routine and I have a solid bedtime routine, but my morning routine right now is being shifted. I'm working on making some changes and now I feel a little bit lost because of it. I'm hoping I'm moving some of the pieces to the afternoon during my rest time to accommodate that, but I'm feeling lost that I didn't ground myself yet in the morning to start my day the way I normally do. And this is what happens. I can spend 2 or 3 hours in flow in the morning doing my morning routine, journaling, meditation, Bible app, social content, and then really socializing, which is part of the social content for any entrepreneur. Um, and did I say journaling? So journaling, meditation, Bible app. Lately, I added a 5 minute EFT tapping, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I always say it wrong, but it's like Qigong, Qigong, Qigong. Qigong. It's a form of moving energy externally from your body. I just added those. Oh, and another 5 or 10 minute mental exercise piece. I think it's called. I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm on a trial, but I'll probably keep it. What is it called? Imprint, where you're breaking down different things and learning about it. But it's easy to add things to your routine when you already have a routine. I'm trying to take things out of the routine and move them to a different day, a different time of the day. So when we have this routine, we are free from thinking about what to be next. We are releasing the bandwidth in our mind, right? We're not using it. We're releasing that expectation and we just go, we just flow. I have this flow sometimes when I'm painting. I have this flow, oh, certainly when I'm working on anything to do with my business, not anything. When I'm working with a client, when I'm working on new marketing material, when I am working on workshops and content, I geek out. So think about this as we're continuing today. Where can you lose track of time? And as I'm going through this, pause, send yourself a voice email if you're on a walk, send yourself a text if you're out and about, screenshot so you know where to circle back to. I used to do all the time. And then sometimes I would pause and send myself an email or a text. An email. Um, think about where is it that you can get lost in time throughout your day or through different activities. Because that freedom that comes with being in a state of flow in whatever activity you set aside in that block of time, it is going to allow your body to be safe. Your nervous system feels safe because of it. And that gives you freedom in your mind. It opens up space because you're not thinking about what to do next. It's like picking out your clothes. I've shared this on a previous episode. When I used to work in corporate, I would pick out and iron 5 outfits and hang them up. Well, I guess 4 outfits and then a Friday outfit. And then by process of elimination, I would pick and choose which outfits would be best for certain days. And from there, I would choose what's left for the day, but my choices are easier to make. Have you ever noticed that if you are on vacation and you've only packed a limited amount of clothes, you have no problem getting dressed for that period of time? Normally, right? Of course, there's external circumstances, but think about that. We are loosening our grip with an area that's already an overflow in all of our lives. Most of us are walking around in a hustle, hustle, hustle. This is to eliminate that hustle and to step back into that slow motion by being in that state of flow. And what a freedom it is. So, there's a couple of things I'd like to suggest today. And some of them, I'm going to throw some of my programs out there so you can look them up and see what works. But most of this information is coming from a lesson from somebody in my Coaching Your Pocket program. They were with me for over a year, and this program will definitely help you approach life with abundance rather than scarcity. And I challenge you to adopt this one particular message or method, and it's called stretching rather than chasing. See, the reason why we're not in that state of flow, in that we are hustling, is because we think it's what we need to do. Check, 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 do, do, do. You can still check things off without hustling. When I say stretch rather than chase, I mean that I want you to stretch the resources you already have rather than looking for more. Just like I said about the clothes, I want you to utilize your time better than wishing you had more time. This is me moving what's working in the morning to adapt to my afternoon rest period that I can do while I'm resting my head versus doing in the morning when I'm feeling better. Or yes, so right, it's utilizing your time better to match your energy. And instead of wishing you had more time, I want you to think about how you can get more from your current relationships than thinking you need to build more relationships or friendships or partnerships. I want you to think about how you can better utilize your finances so you don't feel like you need to chase more money. Ooh, that one hits hard, doesn't it? Let me say that one again, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this. Take a deep breath, let it all out. A trick I've learned, if you're anything like me, you probably have learned a bunch of different things about breathing. But my biggest lesson is if you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, you are releasing a lot more than in and out through your nose. Okay. You are relaxing your shoulders more. It is going deeper. Keep that in mind. So when I say take a deep breath, shoulders up, back towards your ear, or your shoulders back, I mean. So up, back, and down. Bring your shoulders down, bring your breath out your mouth. For those that are watching the video, my shoulders just went down through that exercise, and you can see the outcome literally in front of you. And this is another way of stretching your resources, right? Stretching the tools that you have. All of your answers are within. Taking this approach with the mentality of making your resources go further rather than thinking you don't have enough will impact your mindset from scarcity and lack to abundance. Remember, the reason why we're not in the state of flow is because we don't trust that it is safe. Our nervous system believes in the hustle, 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 do, do, do. But look where it's gotten you. Or where has it gotten you? Right? I can easily say about my business that, I'd like so many more new clients, but I also know I want to revisit my corporate costs. Where can I save money? How can I lower my monthly fees? Where am I getting the best value or bang for my buck, or what's different? Now, some people might not think that this is worth your time and energy, and it may or may not be. Where are you? Remember on that emotional scale. If you are lower in that lower spiral, don't do any of this. Okay. Work on your breathing. Work on the relationships and the friendships that you do have. Work on the resources that you have inside of you. Let's listen to the rest of what I'm putting together and see what other tips come up. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if you're on the bottom of that spiral, going down or maybe going up, you really need to let your nervous system know that it is safe. That is your number one goal in that area. You need to let your nervous system know. Getting into a state of flow is going to be a little bit harder. Your state of flow is going to look a little bit different, as it should. And that's okay. It just means you're focusing less on the other things and more on what you need to elevate yourself to that next level. And even if you're spiraling on the upwards, but you're not as high as you need to be, take this all in. Take a big picture and let's see what it looks like from a bird's eye view. This is one of the areas that I can help you best with. All right. When we approach the mentality of making your resources go further versus thinking you don't have enough, it stretches the imagination. When you stretch the imagination, you're bringing creativity into the mix. Creativity is your sacral chakra. Safety and security is your root chakra. If your root chakra is impacted, that bottom of that spiral is impacted. Okay. You can also think about how you can get more from the things that you already know versus thinking that you need to learn more. If you approach your abilities with the same not enough mindset, you'll never know what it feels like to do something or to be something or to create something. Um, I actually used to have my office upstairs, and I used to, before I moved down here a couple years ago, I used to have a picture of this, which is my book, Your Story Matters. I used to have the front cover framed and put on the wall behind me where people could see it, where I was talking. And just the other day, I just picked up a couple of other things where people can see. But this is an amazing resource. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is it's a resource that I can lean back to. Any books in my library, I can lean back to. I don't need to go and buy new books. But we can unpack what we know and put it to use in different areas. So when you approach your abilities with the same not enough mindset, you will never feel that you are enough to do something. You might feel like you need to read more books or do more work or do more money management um, before actually utilizing what you've already learned. It's because you're afraid. You're afraid to step forward. You're afraid to showcase your success. I am switching my background, which is like real. My bookshelf is real. I am showcasing it where I won't be afraid to share my success, of one of the books. And we're not taught to do that, right? We're not taught to boast or to share our successes, but we need to be because we put a lot of work in there and we need to be celebrating ourselves. And we need to utilize the tools that we already have instead of chasing new tools. If you're living with that chase mindset, you're always going to be looking for the next thing. That looking for the next thing is where anxiety comes from because you're not in the moment. You are not doing and appreciating and loving the moment. You're thinking about what's next. You're thinking about the future. You're always going to be thinking about how more is better and how there'll never be enough. You'll always be chasing the next thing rather than appreciating what you have. So the first tactical application today would be to stretch rather than chase. You know, the next one is finding adult electives, activities, and having fun. Now, this is something that a lot of people um, don't do, don't do. And it's hard when you're living in a household when you're trying to implement fun and taking care of yourself, but not everybody's on the same page, right? I get that. I've had that come back with a lot of my clients. You just have to do you. You have to do you. And at the end of the day, you have to do you. It's the only way you're going to find that state of flow. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and focus on you. So now we're talking about fun. Something that I think goes very much with living the perspective of abundance is taking the time to enjoy things. It can be the little things, it can be the big things, but often people say they don't have time to enjoy fun. If you change your mind on that, if you take the time to step back and do activities, like the entrepreneur Jesse Itzler, Itzler, she said something fascinating about adulthood and hobbies. Do you remember when you were in school, whether college or high school? when you would take electives. Oh my gosh, I remember. Um, you studied something outside of your career focus and you did it because you enjoyed it. You may not have had a lot to choose from, so maybe you didn't enjoy it, but the intention was, Jesse pointed out that once people leave school, they drop that mentality of doing productive, fun things. People stop learning subjects that aren't related to their careers. I've connected with a lot of companies as well about my workshops, and it's amazing how those companies only want work specific, like how to use a new software or a tech course or how to use Google. They only want work specific workshops. They're not bringing in the fun stuff to make it fun for their employees, and they're not ready, right? Painting. This one's not done, but I've been doing some painting in my home office, and yes, it's just stripes right now on this one. We'll see where it leads, but I don't normally share my work. I feel guilty sometimes when my husband's upstairs making dinner and I'm down here painting. It feels like I'm having fun. Or if I, after church, when I go for coffee with my friends and I take a 2 hour luncheon, that feels like fun to me, even having social after Aquafit, right? So having these moments, even doing Aquafit, right? Yeah, sure, it's fitness, but it is so much fun for me because of the music and the singing. It elevates me. And these are fun things that I've learned painting, Aquafit. What else have I done? Oh, I do different creative things, but writing is another fun thing for me. So we need to identify some adult electives. When we are doing adult things, and what I mean by adult things, some of what we've talked about, cooking, reading, doing different meetups and getting together with people, and different activities that you're interested in that have nothing to do with your career. I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing. I'm going to challenge you to find some things. It can be a variety of things from yoga to basketball, sculpting, basket weaving, whatever, organizing, something that's not related to your career that makes you lose track of time. See, when you lose track of time, you are in that state of flow. When you're in that state of flow, you are in an abundant mindset. Your nervous system is safe. You're not in lack. If you were in lack, you would not take the time to invest in fun. And fun is an investment. It really, really, really is. Um, you know, Even your routine, like I mentioned earlier, can bring you a state of flow. And I am mixing my routine up. My old routine was grounding me and keeping me safe, but now it's time to mix things up. Um, I'm not going, it's not going to necessarily advance my career or make me money, but it'll be fun by mixing up my routine. I'll be doing things differently. So, what's on your calendar? What is on your calendar that you would consider an adult elective? Actually, book club is on my calendar. I do book club twice a week and I love it. What is an activity that you're doing because it's fun or it interests you? My daughter went snowboarding the other day at 25. She'd gone before, but she absolutely loved it. That's a fun, non-related work activity or career enhancing activity. Runners, 10 pin bowlers, 5 pin bowlers. What activity is it that's on your calendar? And I know that it's tempting to say, I just don't have enough time for that. But again, that's coming from scarcity and not abundance. Do you have time to watch Netflix or to be on social media? Most of us do. I mean, I get a message from my phone every Sunday telling me how many hours I have spent on it. And I don't like that very much. I was just thinking this morning I could probably make one positive shift to my morning routine that would save me hours because once I'm on there, ooh, I spiral. I spiral. So another excuse that you might make is that you don't have enough money to take up a fun activity. If you stretch your financial resources, you'll find the money to do a hobby. Maybe you need to sell some stuff you're not using or to cut back on excess expenses. But if you stretch, you'll find the money to fund an elective activity. Again, it could be a Y membership. It could really be anything, anything. Go buy some paint at the dollar store and go buy some canvas and some cheap brushes and start there. And I know things can be tight, but that's where we're going back to revisit our finances. That's why all of this is intertwined. Okay. So the second one, find an elective and have fun. Third one, reject scarcity and excess. Even though the scarcity mindset of not having enough dominates our society, people also heavily struggle with having excess. People are spending more and more money on unnecessary items and collecting physical and mental clutter while doing it. And this is literally saying that you don't have enough. And again, you need to stretch and be better at utilizing what you have. And I'm not talking, I'm looking at, for those that are on video with me or watching this, sorry, I leaned in here. This literally popped out. And this is a race bib from when I used to do some racing, some running, and I want to get back to it. And I remember thinking I don't have enough to um, pay for the event or to buy new sneakers or at one point in my life. And another point in my life, I thought it would be really cool if all I got for Christmas were events that I could run. And I had different tickets that my family members had bought me, so I didn't have to pay for it. But when I prioritized joining the running club and taking care of myself and reaching new heights, I was able to step into that state of flow and reject any scarcity, you know, because once you start stretching your current resources, you realize that there are unnecessary things in your life that are causing you to think that you don't have enough and that you can rid yourself of physical clutter can oftentimes clear your mental and emotional space. So in my office here, I had my home office in my other house. It got moved here. We had a studio. It got moved here. And then Tony and I had a different office upstairs. It got moved here. So this is my space now. This has been my space for a while. I have a pocket of this space that I know I need to go through. I know I have contacts that are over 10, 15 years old that are not in my CRM, that are in a box. So that needs to be changed. I don't need it here. I don't need the physical paperwork, first of all. I don't need the boxes. I don't need the filing cabinet. Time to let it go. Because once I let it go, I can attract what's to come. Absolutely. I just pointed in my head. Woo. All right. Now is the time again for you to stretch rather than chase. I believe if people adopt this mentality of doing more with what they have, they can just they can drastically improve themselves, and that will have an impact on society. People would be satisfied with what they have rather than thinking that they need more. You can do this, my friends. You can approach your life with the mentality that you do have enough and you are living in a state of flow, and everything that you have is available to you. Everything that you need is available to you. Um, if you need any additional help approaching your life with abundance and removing the I don't have enough from your vocabulary, I encourage you to get on the wait list for my next Coach in Your Program startup. It actually starts, you can start anytime and it goes month to month. The last people that did it stayed on board for over a year. And literally, you can see your own progress. It is amazing. It is amazing. I work with people on a personal level. I help them in an organized approach to help them overcome their perspective of scarcity and unlock their full potential. If you're not sure where to begin, start with my alignment assessment. That is going to be the biggest place for you to understand where you're at right now. I also recommend that you follow me on your favorite platform. That's going to help you stay up to date with what's going on, whether it's workout videos, whether it's different ways of stretching yourself, whether it's different podcasts, and how to step into that state of flow. See, remember, you're never going to be satisfied as you continue to live with the not enough mentality. Do more with what you have and live in abundance rather than scarcity. Go through your clothes, go through your closet. Honestly, if it doesn't fit, I don't want to say get rid of it because that's hard, especially if you're trying to lose weight and you just bought the clothes. If you wear it and you love it, put it in a safe spot. But if you haven't worn it in years, so for instance, I know I've gained weight from last year's, but I know a lot of the clothes I bought last year were pretty new. I'm not throwing them out. I like them. I really like them. I haven't had a chance to wear them all the way I wanted to before I put some of the weight back on. And that's hard for everybody. I know with my nerves in my head and the inflammation, and I'm finally seeing a neurologist. This is my priority. Your mental health is more important than the number on the scale. And I've adapted to that. But it is hard. And I'm not going to give away my clothes that I like just because I'm in a place of transition. But I'm going to clean up other stuff and I'm going to organize it and I'm going to make it better. Same thing with your Tupperware drawer that tumbles out when you open it. And you just go buy new ones because it's easier. Not easier. Save the money. Save the money. Okay. You will never be satisfied with your life with the never enough mentality. Do more with what you have and live in abundance instead of scarcity. What if you tried this for a month? Declutter. Okay. Let's go over the 3 points. Stretch rather than chase. Stretch what you have rather than chasing more. Find an adult activity. Reject scarcity and eliminate excess. Those are the 3 points that we went over today, the tactical implementations that you can change with your life every single day. Now, remember, being in a state of flow means we lose track of time. It could be hours, it could be minutes. Like you're lost. It's almost like you're lost in la la land. You're like in your own place. I have a window sticker underneath the mirror in the office here, and when I look at it, it is water with trees above, and it looks like I'm either on a beach or on a boat or something, and all in front of me is like a lake and water. I love it. I feel like I could daydream on that all day. And that daydreaming phase is a state of flow. Right? I get that way when I'm writing. Where do you get that way? Sometimes singing a song, right? Where do you lose track of time? Pay attention to that, expand on that, journal on that, make some notes on that. Reach out to me if I can help you in any which way when it comes to a state of flow or any of your other holistic health needs. My name's Sonia. Thank you so much for joining me today and every day. And just hashtag Ask Sonia in Google to get any more or to get more information about me. And I look forward to seeing you on my socials. Have a great day, my friends. Mwah. Sending you lots of love. And I think I'm going to post the video because I always say that.